Hi everyone, it's Dr. Tracey Adams here, and I am coming to you from my daughter's bedroom, actually, where I'm sitting here reading the book When by Dan Pink. He's one of my favorite authors, Daniel Pink. And the book and the concept is around timing, the science of timing. And so I wanted this week's vlog to be about the emotional intelligence of time. And I have three things I want to say about the EQ of time. Meaning that your brain is wired to expend a certain amount of energy during the day. And some brains are wired to produce great results in the morning, and some brains are wired to produce great results in the evening, in the early evening or late evening. If you're a night owl, you totally get it. And if you're a morning lark, as Dan describes in his book, you'll understand why some of the most brilliant thinking I know in my life has happened at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. I am definitely a morning person. Although I do need to be like in bed by 9 o'clock, so it's just crazy. But the three things I want to point out about time, the emotional intelligence of time, is this. We are in relationship with everything. You've heard me say before, there's really only one relationship that you're in, and that's you with you. And you can think it's about anything else externally, but really your brain is processing every single relationship that you're in, whether it's with money or your partner or your boss or the food you eat. Like, everything has to do with how you relate to everything else. And time is no different. And so the three places of emotional intelligence, and when I say your emotional intelligence, it's your ability to notice and name what's happening. And then from that integration point of what you notice, you're able to make better choices. And so you're not running your life based on feelings, you're actually running your life based on thoughts and feelings integrated together, so you have more choice. And so the first point of EQ in time has to do with starting over. Like, here's the beautiful thing. Dan Pink points out that the word diet goes up 82% in the month of January. So when you have new beginnings around something, the start of a week, the start of a year, the start of a relationship, there's always this heightened sense of productivity. And what I've always told my own clients, no matter what you're working on in your life, you can always start today. Like, you can always start in the moment. So you don't need the ritual or the marker of starting on a Wednesday or starting on New Year's. You can start something or change a behavior by changing a thought at any given moment. And that does take emotional intelligence. The second point I want to point out is around the time of day that you're most productive and having awareness in that. And I'm a big procrastinator. I love to procrastinate on a lot of things, but I do find that my most productive times are in the morning. And as a matter of fact, I finished a 250-page doctorate degree getting up at 5 in the morning. And so the research says that most people who actually finish something make that extra time, even if it's just getting up 30 minutes ahead of time to start something. And that does take emotional resiliency, because if you're like most people, you might start something and have it fall apart. Having to start again is part of that resiliency. But again, knowing your peak performance and really honoring that, I think, is key. And then the final thing I want to talk about is it's a concept I learned many years ago, and it has to do with time deading. And time deading is that self-awareness. Well, it actually comes from this idea of, like, when you're staying up past midnight, you're actually time deading into the next day, right? I use time deading, meaning like anytime I'm late somewhere. So if I tell someone I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock and I show up at 10:03, I've actually time deaded by 3 minutes. And so my life used to be run like that. I used to be running on adrenaline, and I had no self-awareness of time. And I remember that insight I had, that when I said I was going to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, I actually had to be in the parking lot by like 9:40, because think about it, when you pull up to the parking lot, you still have to like get your bag, situate yourself, grab the things that you need. You have to walk across the parking lot, walk into the place that you're meeting the person. And so that idea of being in the parking lot at 10 o'clock was not a good thing. I had to back all of that up. And then going under the hood of that concept around EQ and time was I did not have the ability to sit still. And so being somewhere early always created a lot of anxiety for me. And those days are done. I have been doing meditation for many, many years, and I have, over the last 8 years, have stopped multitasking. And so I can really sit still. My morning meditation is about 30 minutes of just sheer quiet. And it has really retrained my brain to be early. I can be early, I can have lots of space, lots of quiet space. I don't have to have the radio on in the car. And when you come over to my home, it's usually very quiet here. And that has been a purposefully trained brain in meditation. That's the benefits of meditating to increase your emotional intelligence. So that's my 3 points about time. I highly recommend the book, When. It's awesome. I want to leave you with the idea that you will have a better chance of surviving a surgery if you do it in the morning, as opposed to the research. Most people, well, not most people, the people who don't do well in surgeries, they're usually scheduled for the afternoon, which it's the same case he makes for getting a court appearance and before a judge. You want to see the judge either early in the morning or right when the judge comes back from a break. You'll get better results then when the mind is fresh. I just love that work. So with that, happy time, emotional intelligence to all of you, and I'll see you next time.